Hi, I'm Ken Clark from the Alnham Island, and today I'm going to be your ghost of Christmas past as I take you on a journey through the highlights of Alnham Island in 2017. I'll also drop you in to witness gaffs, laughs, and take you behind the mic. The Resort of Alnham Island Podcast was opened in August of 2017, in the effort of us providing an escape to listeners to sit back, relax and indulge in topics of Premier League, movies, TV, gaming and more. Amongst these topics, we have the Movie Lane feature and our related opening questions, which were received well. So far, we've released 5 episodes and 2 Cabana episodes, and have had a total of over 1,000 downloads across 18 different countries. This is our opportunity to say a huge thank you to everyone who's downloaded the pod, listened, shared, given us feedback and left reviews. It means a lot to us to provide even a smidgen of entertainment to you all. I'm going to start off by looking back at some of the highlights from 2017. One of our most popular topics to talk about is the Premier League, as we become armchair pundits for the podcast. And when we talk through the Premier League highlights, there's quite a lot of information to retain and relay. One of our particular highlights was from episode 1. When given our predictions for the upcoming Premier League season, Woody was naming Watford as potential relegation fodder, and one of his reasons was to do with their manager. Have a listen. Woody, relegated teams, who you got?
Watford, Swansea, Southampton.
Oh!
Yeah.
Brutal.
Full Premier
Watford
League.
and Southampton.
Right, and let me tell you this reasoning on this. Okay. Right. I've got stuff to say about each of the promoted teams, okay? So, we're talking Huddersfield. There's no proven talent coming in. Okay. First 4 games are Palace, Newcastle, Southampton and West Ham. So if they come in, all guns blazing, there's potential for them to pick up some points. And we all know, we all did it the season where we got Europe. And why I say we, I mean those random Newcastle fans that we know nothing about.
Yeah.
That was where we got that momentum from, was from an easy start of the Premier League. But Huddersfield didn't win a game in May.
Very true.
And they penalty kicked their way into the Premier League.
Yeah, they were very lucky.
If I remember rightly.
Yeah.
So, I'm not entirely sure. Watford, question for you guys. Who's their manager?
It is Marco Silva.
No, it's not.
It is?
No, it's not. Marco Silva was Hull's manager last year.
Yeah, and now he's Watford's manager.
Really? Mm-hmm. Marco Silva is now the...
Mm-hmm.
Producer Ed's on it. But
Producer Ed, get on that. No way!
That's why if it wasn't Marco Silva, I would have thought, agreed with you, but no, it's Marco Silva, no?
Producer Ed?
It's like the umpire, yeah. In or out?
Absolutely no
I'm sure, yeah,
chance.
I thought that was the case.
Marco Silva.
Watford.
Yeah.
Watford FC since 2017.
Is what? Marco Silva?
Yeah, he sort of went straight from there, dude.
Really?
Portugal 2014-15. Hull City 2017-2017. Watford FC 2017 since.
Shut up, Graham.
You asked a question, you got an answer.
I know,
so,
yeah,
you know.
no. I'm humble in defeat.
Determined to relish in Woody's glorious clangor one last time, we played him a surprise tune on episode 2, and the highlight is his reaction. One thing I would like to just, the final bit from me, before we maybe move on to sports, is last time there was a lot of feedback from a certain part of someone's predictions, particularly Woody, it was yours.
I know what this is now. I know what this is.
I'd like to introduce to you something we just cropped together. If you did listen to episode 1, there was definitely a moment where
Woody dropped a bollock.
Woody was certain that we weren't aware of who this manager was. So have a quick listen to this.
Question for you guys. Who's their manager? Who's their manager? Who's their manager?
Oh my god.
Who's their manager? Who's their manager?
Really? Marco Silva is now the...
No way!
Marco Silva.
Who made this? Is this you?
Marco Silva. Marco Silva. Shut up, Graham.
Just for you.
You absolute bastard. I had a feeling it was aimed at me because all of you knew about it. Oh, this got a super surprise.
This was made.
Let's just clear this up, right? If you had arrived on time that day, I wouldn't have been as drunk when you got there, and it still wouldn't take us another 6 hours to set up and start recording.
Okay.
So by the time we recorded, I'd done about 8 hours worth of drinking by that point.
Yeah, but this was on your prep sheets, buddy.
It wasn't my prep sheet.
It was. Because you read it.
No, but yeah, I didn't know the answer at the time. I didn't know the answer at the time, so I was like, tell me this question. But that is unreal.
But there you go.
Fuck for a lot of you.
Released on iTunes, available. Let's get at the top of the charts. Who's their manager? I mean,
Really?
Shut up, Graham.
Shut up, Graham.
Game of Thrones was a huge talking point in 2017, and as the season came to an end, we at the island talked through some of the finer moments of Season 7. Epic scenes, fan theories, predictions for Season 8, and the comeuppance of one of the lesser preferred characters, in particular, the urge to impersonate his famous style of speech. This does contain spoilers. Lure him into a false sense of security just so he doesn't expect to die, but then dies.
I think it was so pleasant to see the player get played.
Yeah.
And then the bit when he was like begging, and even when he was begging,
No, Sansa,
and he was like,
please.
Sansa, please let me speak to you on your own, Sansa, and he still thought he was gonna get away with it, and she was like, oh yeah, fuck this guy up, and she came up and just chopped his fucking head off.
If we go back to the comment that you just mentioned there, that one of your colleagues, it's literally because he bought into it and he thought Littlefinger had Sansa on his side.
Yeah.
I genuinely
Yeah,
thought.
No,
I didn't see that
no,
coming.
no.
Absolutely didn't see that coming.
What you thought?
I didn't think Littlefinger was going to die, but I didn't think that she was believing Littlefinger.
I genuinely thought it was because he's done it since the start.
Because like you seen the whole what's the Brienne?
Yeah.
Yeah. She went to Sansa before she left. You should go because I don't want to leave you alone with him. And she was like, no, go. So she was taking her own independence from there to say, I know what I'm doing.
Right, I get what you're saying. When I watched it, thought, no, she's being naive.
No, I think
So
I
didn't-
said,
I
I
didn't
don't
have-
need protection.
I didn't have faith in Sansa. Shanja.
Sansa's not.
I loved your mother, Shanja.
He's a strange bloke, and he's like the actor. His accent doesn't add up. It's either As we continued our chat of all things Westeros, Sean was discussing a theory regarding Tyrion Lannister. It took me a second to register who he claimed Tyrion to become. Here's Sean Wills.
Yeah.
Isn't Tyrion meant to be Ra's al Ghul, whatever his name is?
Ra's al Ghul's from Batman.
Jar Jar Binks. Wrong show,
From the
bro.
rafters,
Yoda.
all
Batman
the
comes
fucking
down
same magic
on a
shit.
magical dragon.
But like in general, like the reborn prince when he went obviously that one.
Oh, the prince that was promised.
Yeah. Isn't he meant to be him though?
It's hard not to get passionate about certain topics on the podcast, and this highlight from episode 4 was a twofold rant by Woody about Jose Mourinho. This does contain a fair bit of swearing. You have been warned.
Fuck Mourinho, vote Wagner. That's all I'm going to say. And fuck Mourinho, because I was so excited for Liverpool Man United the week before. And I just loved.
I don't know why.
Loved. I sound like Kevin Keegan, don't I?
love it.
I loved seeing Mourinho just getting spanked away at Huddersfield. Because I just thought, you fucking arsehole, that is what you get for ruining one of the greatest fixtures in English football.
Yeah.
And you just fucking stunk it out. You prick. And I've got another rant for Mourinho for week 10 as well. So.
But week 10, so Man United, so I'll let Woody say. So Man United...
You fucking prick. What a fucking dick. Why?
Are you talking about me or Mourinho? I mean,
Mourinho!
Oh, okay. I was just clarifying
Why does he
that.
do it?
So what specifically has he done
He
to
just
really offend you?
He always makes it about himself.
He does.
And he waited, and you saw the camera was right there next to him, and then as soon as the camera went, he was like, shh. I'm like, fuck off.
Not all of our favourite moments made us chuckle. Graham provided us with this next highlight. In episode 1, we all surprisingly learned something about each other despite knowing each other for over a decade. Woody auditioned for Beggar Grove, Sean was on TV as a choir boy, I met a famous ex-BBC personality at church, and Graham was left red-faced after a conversation with Jenny Powell. It was Graham's next fact that left us in awe.
A fact was about the amount of road traffic accidents I've been in unscathed.
Have you been in a lot of road traffic?
Two or
Every
three.
single person this goes around, I still cannot get over the fact that I know so little about
Two
it.
or three. Actually saved a friend from a fire, burning car.
You
In the last
Jesus.
one, yes. There was 4 of us in a car and it hit a tree and it was on the side and it was on fire whilst the driver was already out and on the phone to his mum about his cars and his clothes and
Shit, they're bad.
Jesus.
and we got unscathed that one. I think I tore my granddad's car in half
Okay.
and I got a cut on the chin. That was it.
Are you Jesus? Are you actual,
Have you seen the
actual
film?
Jesus?
What? Unbreakable with
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis.
You know what
Yes.
this
Well, he's on the
It
train
felt
and
like
everything,
that. Yes.
Talking about a script, John. Daenerys, mate. Straight out the flames.
Yeah, yeah.
Titties out.
Our new Dragon King.
Yeah, I'll go with that, yeah. Graham, King of
I have the
Dragons.
upper carriage.
A quick question on the
Vala
one.
Morghulis.
You said the friend that you saved, do you still speak to them?
Yes.
Do they like owe you their life?
No.
Do you still speak to them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as much as
How
I'd
much
like
do you
to.
charge him a week for a, like?
No, no.
Yeah.
Do you charge them
I
like a
haven't, seen
life
him, I haven't
rent?
seen him for years, but when I see him, it's normally the first
So
thing.
it's like a bank
He's
transfer now, yeah?
introducing us to other people. It's the
This guy, I'd be dead if it wasn't for this guy.
Pretty
You're
much.
just like, yo!
So once again, we've got Biker Grove,
Stall it.
missed out. Stall
Stall it.
We've
Stall
got
it.
Choir Boy TV start
Yeah.
as well.
Operation U-Tree victim.
Yep. And then we've actually got a lifesaver. So I think yours tops the stories. Yeah, I'd say lifesaver. As much as we were once nearly.
I don't know.
I'd go with that. I think that's pretty cool saving someone's
Yeah,
life.
I'd say that's the winner. It wasn't just the guys in the podcast that provided highlights in 2017. We received a heartwarming message of support from one of our listeners, Muhammad Umar. Here it is, read out in episode 4.
Second post comes from Mohammed Umar. Wrote a lovely post on the Facebook page. He wrote, "Chaps, bloody good show. Woody will attest to the ridiculous amount of hours and driving I have done this week, and I can honestly say that listening to you boys was the most enjoyable part. Thank you, Umar. You're also the one thing that actually kept me awake when I well and truly thought I'd fall asleep and die at the wheel.
Wow.
Deep." So you are now all lifesavers, not just one of you, and that references back to episode number 1. So we know he's not lying because
Yeah.
obviously Graham was the only lifesaver in the room until now, when we all are.
Yeah, see that? Look at that Easter egg in
Yeah.
the post.
I'll be fully caught up by the end of next week and thoroughly looking forward to the new stuff. Have a Magnum on me. And yeah, I can't attest to how much he's been driving because it's insane. I spoke to him the other day, and yeah, he's doing a lot of driving.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
That's great. It's good to hear that, isn't it?
yeah,
Really good.
Yeah.
Of course, here at the Alnham Island, we're not perfect and sometimes mistakes do happen. Like when recording doesn't quite go to plan. More specifically, poor timing of a takeaway delivery.
So yeah, I once had an audition for White Grove.
Which part were you auditioning for? Was there a...
It was like a what? Oh,
we have our first visitor of the podcast. Let's open the door and find
Special
out who
guest.
it is.
I've got 20.
We'll sort this all out. Or when furniture gets a life of its own.
But it looks like it's a good game, and it looks like when it does come out, it's going to be a bestseller.
Sorry. That's on me.
Should we do that again?
Yeah, please.
Or like this clip when Woody messes with the equipment.
So something that might happen in the first series doesn't actually happen until the 4th of
Right.
book. Or blah, blah,
Can
blah.
somebody else? And
Whoa.
that's Adam's mics just fell.
Calamity. I told you you should have said the other way. Right.
Twat.
Sometimes it's the content that doesn't quite work. Like this gap in our knowledge of League 1.
Not only did he score them goals, he also had Cavani on the other side of him. So, do you have Cavani on the other side?
And I mean,
No,
Cavani
delete
plays for
fault.
PSG.
Did he?
No. Oh no, Cavani's PSG, isn't he?
Olympic
PSG.
Lyon, so he had...
He had Mbappe.
Mbappe.
No, he didn't.
No, Mbappe's Monaco, man.
Where's Lacazette?
Like I said,
Like-
there's Marseille.
Demonstrating hand knowledge.
Give for Leon.
Sick.
Olympic Lyon, yeah.
Leon.
Fucking hell.
Right, edit that.
Yeah. We know fuck all about
This is
football.
why I don't
Sorry,
know
guys.
sports, eh?
Yeah. Lacazette scored.
Like I said, came from a team in League One, right? That's how we know.
League 1.
League 1. On the podcast, predictions and claims can be bold in the hope that they pay off. However, sometimes they don't. Just like this claim by me about Manchester City. Have Man City got the rest of the squad?
Not for me.
They're not finished
Not for
yet.
me.
I honestly can see.
I've written them off.
Yeah, genuine question. Who have they brought into place? Any of them?
Well, there is still time for it to all go wrong for Pep Guardiola, although looking incredibly unlikely. What about Woody with his claim about Harry Kane? Bit of a trend there. He adds 4 goals each tally, so I'm going to predict 33 goals on a pure mathematical...
He's not beating Shearer.
Okay, so not the record Woody's referring to, but Harry Kane has indeed broken one of Alan Shearer's records, and he's looking on course to break the other. It is inevitable that things will be flown perfectly when natural human bodily functions put a stop to that.
Is he like part Walker or something? He's been transferred, but then he's got magic that he can reverse the effect or something. Because I haven't a clue.
Oh, there might be more of that in the next series.
By the way, the swearing's getting real now because
The swearing's real.
it's a debate, you know.
I don't know. I felt that entire series. Excuse me. Can we edit that out? Because that really wasn't.
This is going to go on your ever expanding
I'm gonna
Woody
remix
Bloomery.
Mega remix this one, like.
I felt right. Sorry, I'll say that again so we can edit that out.
That's your third guess, by the way.
No. It's not. That wasn't a guess.
I feel like I've missed out.
You need to
Give
watch
it a try.
I've got a
I've seen
DVD
it.
upstairs.
Yeah.
So I got 83%. I thought someone moved the chair upstairs.
It's a ghost.
That's heading my way.
It's not even a fabric
That's Harrison.
chair.
Get back in
It's a
your
leather
cupboard.
chair, so it's not going to soak into the chair either.
It's gonna slide right off.
To go up the back, around the shoulder.
It's gonna slap me in the face in a few.
Going to hit a convection current.
Gonna slap you
Rain
in the
down
face
on
like
Graham.
fucking Charlie Dimmock's tits.
Right, for editing purposes, that's just...
The chair just makes it better, doesn't it? The vibration.
Turn your phone off.
Turn your arse phone off.
So I got 83.
Just imagine answering an arse phone.
Fucking hell.
This is Cabana material. Let's
I
deal
know.
with it.
Yeah.
So I got 83% in Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Speaking of rotten arses. Right.
Right, come on.
Release is going to get delayed due to fucking people laughing at farts.
How many thoughts have I got to edit out of this podcast?
I've done loads that you haven't even heard.
You just be like... Between the sections of our podcast is our opportunity to regather thoughts and get in the zone for the next section. Well, actually more so for a toilet, drink, smoke break, but the mics stay on, and sometimes we capture some interesting conversations and admissions. Conversations about occupations. Everyone's mics turned on, everyone
Yes.
comfortable.
Yes.
Just gonna tuck myself in the
Bold.
Tired, Graham?
Me, I'm fucked.
You got coffee in you?
Just had a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Coffee fucking sends me hernia doing that.
What is it?
It's yours to make time makeup tea next week.
I can't but look as good as yours because it's your profession.
Fuck off. Coffee's
yeah.
my profession, not
True.
fucking tea.
Still a hot drink, hot beverage.
Or this one about finances.
I always pay for the takeaway.
Sean, I've just sent
No,
you...
I'm not saying you're going to give the money, but every time I'm the one who has the disposable cash. He will never bring disposable cash.
I'm in a digital age now. Cash is irrelevant to me.
Well, not the takeaways.
Well,
I tell you what, the
Just
first night out I did, purely contactless, was that one in Newcastle.
look how that ended
And
up.
look how fucking
Look
that ended.
how that
I don't
ended
do
up.
contactless, not
I was on the bread line for about fucking 3 months after that. Fuck it.
How much you spend? 150.
Oh no, it was like 240 or something
2.
between me and Carly. Yeah,
Jesus.
it was like we were
Jesus.
because me and her stayed on until we got pot wheel. We were like on cocktails all night. So I got the taste for them.
Like I did 140 like without even blinking.
Well, yeah, you think that's just you? We had me and Carly.
Yeah.
Personal matters. Everyone just make sure we're talking relatively close to the mic. So I think it's good. Just one more test.
Hello.
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 My name's Adam, and I've
Perfect.
got a big willy.
That's perfect. And yes, you do.
We've seen on many occasions.
Well, I don't really.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really.
Any man would want to admit.
I wouldn't really class it as big. So
We're into double digits of dick pics from Woody. So.
Oh yeah.
you won one from me when I was pissed.
It's a sign of comfort, really.
It is. Yeah, very comfortable with it. A spontaneous song. Game of Thrones, yay!
Game of Thrones.
Game. I swear, Joyce, this is a quartet.
I think we went slightly after.
Sorry guys, bunch of nerds.
I think we're all nerds, and that's why we're amazing.
Yeah. Minor disagreements.
Yeah.
Not last season, season before, sorry.
All I said was he missed 11 games.
Oh.
I
In the
didn't
Premier
say-
League?
Yeah, he missed through injury. He missed 11 games.
Oh, yeah, so I've got he missed 8.
Oh, really?
That's all.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Cool.
But yeah, so he scored.
Don't listen. Okay.
Yeah. Liar.
Full of shit.
Bitch. And our final one. Woody's admission after a long and late recording session of episode 1.
I'm so drunk.
I could tell what you were looking at me going.
I'm so drunk.
We hope you've enjoyed our review of 2017. Once again, a huge thank you for being part of our podcast, The Alnham Island. That was just a handful of some moments from the podcast. All our episodes are available to download from Libsyn, iTunes, Spotify, and most podcast apps. You can also find all our episodes alongside some blog articles and a gallery of our handsome faces at our official website, www.alnhamislandpodcast.co.uk. Please do get in touch at contact@alnhamislandpodcast.co.uk or our Facebook page at Alnham Island Podcast with any stories, musings, questions or feedback. We have some great stuff planned for 2018 and we hope to see you at the island again next time.